Hey, my cherry pots, welcome to Pots of Stories. I'm Gwen, and this is The Nonprofit Man, episode 15. My cherry pots. Have you ever had someone look at you in a way that made you feel completely seen? Not because of your looks, not because of what you own, but because of you. Well, that's exactly what happened next. I laughed and looked at John. Please do behave, I said. Otherwise, the grand tour of my little dollhouse is officially over. He laughed. I'll try, he replied. So I started showing him around my apartment. We walked through the living room, then into the kitchen. I showed him my little dining area, my balcony, and the small spaces I'd spent years turning into a home. The whole time, John hardly said anything. He just looked around, smiling. I couldn't tell whether he was impressed or secretly wondering why I had called him all the way from Europe to see such a tiny apartment. Then, as we walked back into the living room, he suddenly stopped. I turned around. Everything okay? I asked. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he gently took both of my hands into his. He looked straight into my eyes. There was something different about the way he was looking at me. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was sincere. Then he smiled. Gwen, I know we've only known each other for a short while. I know flying from Europe to South Africa after just a few days of talking probably sounds crazy. He chuckled softly. But I couldn't ignore what I was feeling. When I saw your profile on that dating app, something about you stood out. You weren't trying to impress anyone. You were simply yourself. And do you know what surprised me the most? I shook my head. He smiled. You actually read my profile. These days, people hardly take the time to read anymore. But you did. You sent me a message. And that message changed everything. He looked down for a moment before looking back at me. When I saw your photos, I honestly wondered if they were real. But then we started talking. Phone calls. Video calls. And every conversation made me want to know you even more. He squeezed my hands gently. So I made a decision. I booked a flight. Because I couldn't sit in Europe wondering what might have been. I didn't want someone else to meet the woman I couldn't stop thinking about. My cherry pots. By this point, I couldn't even speak. He smiled again. And now that I'm standing here, I have only one thing to say. He looked straight into my eyes. Your pictures don't do you justice. They never could. You are far more beautiful in person. I've never done anything like this before. But flying here, he glanced around my apartment and laughed softly, to your beautiful little dollhouse, was the best decision I've made in a very long time. I honestly didn't know what to say. Nobody had ever spoken to me like that before. As I stood there, looking into John's eyes, I felt something shift inside me. Something I hadn't felt in a very long time. For the very first time, I found myself asking one simple question. Could this man really be different? If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, comment, and follow so you'll be notified the moment I post episode 16. My cherry pots? I'm Gwen, and this is Pots of Stories. I'll see you in the next episode. Kiss to you all. To be continued.